Alright, so we're back again. We talked about Cyberfrog previously, and we're going to talk about it again, actually, if you can see the book. It's a very overcast day, so that's going to come through very well today because of the bag. That's alright. But I gave you my initial impressions of the book. We just kind of briefly went over it the last time. And now we're going to do an actual review of the book. This is the only one thing I kind of don't like about it is just the book, just because the number of pages, you can only follow so much and you start to clamshell a little bit. But the book is nice. I mean, all things considered, I mean, it's a very nice cover. I mean, I even like this. I mean, this is kind of cool. The silver look, almost kind of like silver foil in a way. That's neat. But and the book is signed. I paid for a signed copy. And I guess in some sense, I don't want to spoil too much because I want to talk about the book a little bit. I will say better late than never. So just kind of flipping through here, just to let you look at some of the art. Here's some of the art. And I mean, for whatever misgivings I may have, and I'm sure maybe some people have seen me online or haven't seen me on Twitter say things, you know, with regard to Ethan and the length of time that it took for us to receive the book. I mean, for whatever that's worth, I mean, I can't knock the guy on his art. The art is top notch. I mean, honestly, I mean, I've seen a couple things, and maybe they were, maybe they were just brief, and he didn't point it out, which I thought some of the things were kind of phoned in my opinion. They weren't up to his normal level of work. So, I mean, hey, whatever, I try not to take that sort of thing too seriously. I mean, more I was critical of the length of time it took us to receive the book, but all things aside, look at this. I mean, this is pretty cool. A lot of Cyberfrog in this book. I mean, which naturally you would expect because, well, it's Cyberfrog. But a lot more in terms of the storytelling. Gets a little bit more in depth. I think this a little... Yeah, you kind of go from that last page and you go, and there's kind of like a little insert here. Kind of almost like a little side story, which I thought was kind of neat. A different bit of a twist on there. And this is almost sort of kind of like Calvin and Hobbes-esque, if you will. In a sense. I mean, it's, playful. But I did enjoy it. And let me see here. I think, are these pages a little smaller than the... I'm trying to figure out where it breaks back to the regular part of the story. Yeah. The pages... Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just where... Oh, no. I thought the pages were like a little shorter towards the end from spine to edge, but they're not. But I'm not exactly sure where that kind of ends. It's not quite clear to me, and that's okay. I mean, it doesn't matter. It seems like it's maybe only for a page or two. And then they go back to the regular art, which I really like the use of the blue here. And, of course, that's Kyle Ritter colors. Do love me some Kyle Ritter colors. I never did talk about his book, Starblades. Maybe I will at some point if people are interested in that. I like the art of that book. The storytelling, kind of mid. I mean, but if people are interested in hearing about that book, we can certainly talk about it at some point. Like I said, art was fucking amazing in that book. I mean, there's just no question about it. Colors were amazing. That was a total Kyle Ritter thing for those of you that didn't get it. And I did talk about this character before. This was with the cards that we talked about, the chromium cards. This is Spite. That's why I couldn't remember the character's name, because it's such a simple name, Spite. But this is that cat cyborg, or whatever you want to call it. And I'm not going to show you all the panels. And this dude right here, that's a real good picture. I like this, the close-up. This dude is fucking crazy in the book. And I do mean certifiable. Oh, I may try to get my hands out of the way a little bit more. I'm trying not to mess up the binding on the book. And it's also a little slippery because of the chromium cover. Let me see what else we want to look at here. And there's one where Cyberfrog goes up against a bunch of the Vispas. And so that was a pretty good fight sequence here. I mean, a lot of action. A ton of stuff going on in these panels. So the pacing overall I felt was pretty even. I mean, you have points where they'd be more relaxed and the story pace slows down a little bit, but not like to a crawl. I mean, more than enough to keep the reader engaged. And then you have these fight sequences and just where they kind of go back into what's going on. And here, oh, look at this one. That's a really good, this panel right here, where Cyberfrog is just kind of getting wrecked. Haha, REKT Planet. Wrecked Cyberfrog. And do I want to show one of this last near pages? Let me see. How many more pages do we have left? And I'm just showing you random pages throughout, which I thought looked cool. How long has this book been out now? I guess we can show these. Fuck it. So this is, I guess, a spoiler if you haven't read it yet. But here's Salamandroid. He's back, boys and girls. So no, yeah. And then here's this. This is kind of a double panel here. So the color version and the black and white, which I thought was kind of a nice touch. But at any rate, I'm not going to go too much longer on that. Maybe some people still didn't enjoy it. I do have to give credit where credit is due. My one major criticism of the first book, Blood Honey, was that the writing was but I mean, to be, somewhat objective about it, or I guess just to be objective about it, it was a freshman, sort of offering, I guess you will, not in terms of the art, but in terms of the writing, because it was the first book, if I'm not mistaken, that Ethan had ever written. I wouldn't call the writing in this one great, but it is good. It is good. It's certainly easily a step above the first book. So whatever issues I might have with his time frame and getting out books and some of his behavior, that aside, no, the book was good. So if you picked it up, hey, good for you. You enjoyed it? Good for you. You didn't? Well, people are entitled to their opinion. I mean, all things aren't for everyone. That's just how it is. There are plenty of things that are pop culture that are widely accepted that a lot of people love that I couldn't care less about. And that's just, how things roll. But if you didn't get a chance to read it, and the campaign, of course, is over. If you still wanted to read the book, you can acquire it. I'm sure he probably has at least some copies available on his eBay website, which is Cyberfrog 9. So it's not really for Ethan's sake. It's for you guys' sake that I mention it. And like I said, I don't have anything against the guy. It's whatever. It's just that if you want to read the book, I want to share things with you guys that that we find mutually interesting. So go check it out. Cyberfrog 9. It's all one word, Cyberfrog 9 on eBay. And grab yourself a copy if you want a copy. And make sure to follow me on Rumble. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next video. Happy reading.